Et bonjour à tous, c'est parti. Ça va être une vidéo très courte, plus courte que les précédentes. Il va falloir que je fasse... Pas de récompense, ok. Il va falloir que je fasse cette mission et après cette mission il se passe quelque chose de vedette. Donc du coup je vais juste faire cette mission, je vais vous expliquer qu'est-ce qui se passe après et puis après je ferai ça de mon côté parce que ça va être très long. Je vais vous expliquer de toute façon. Donc là ce que je vais faire, je vais changer de casque, on va faire la mission. Je vous retrouve juste après cette partie.
Rescue the 2 prisoners being held in a guard post to the southwest of Ngumba Industrial Zone. The targets are civilians, 1 male, 1 female. Apparently they're specialists sent out there to investigate infectious diseases. They were frequent visitors to that devil's house at the Zoya. If you recover them, we'll finally be able to get first-hand accounts of what's been going on in that place. Enemy squad is on its way to the guard post. Watch yourself. That's the target. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You gotta extract him. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You gotta extract him. Target extracted. Now extract the remaining target. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. On station at LZ. Amazing, boss. Getting all the prisoners out in that situation. Great work. Now exfiltrate. That's it. You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. Warning! All right, mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh? Boss, we placed the 2 targets in quarantine. They don't show signs of anything, but we'll monitor them just the same. If they had access to the Devil's House, I doubt they were sent there by some health organization. Cypher used them, and would have eliminated them eventually. But we'll protect them here. They've agreed to that. After all, we helped them out of the country as promised. The mission's complete. But boss, they've been behind the curtains at Ngumba. They examined the patients there nearly every day. They told us the patients were being made to listen to voices on tape. But the male target added something interesting. He said he doesn't know what was on the tapes because there was no English version. Of all the voices that were shoved down those people's throats, English was one of them. Boss, we have an emergency. Many of our staff are falling ill. At first it seemed like a common cold, but before we knew it, blisters started popping up on their chests and... Damn it. I'll fill you in at the ACC. Just get in the chopper. Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a sparganum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop. Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa. Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties. But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the incubation period, we have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they go symptomatic and quarantine them. That'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection. From now on, if you even suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid.
Alors voilà où on en est. Bah, vous voyez, hein, on a aussi un virus hein, dans les jeux. C'est pas le Covid, hein, c'est pire.
I'll explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management.
Voilà.
First, take a look at the quarantine facility we've set up.
Et en fait, ce qui se passe,
We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. But there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cypher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you.
Voilà, donc ce qui se passe, on a un virus dans la base et puis en fait ce qu'il faut faire c'est tout le personnel ici, c'est tous ceux qui parlent le Kikongo, donc par exemple elle, sélectionner tous ceux qui parlent de Congo. Donc je sais pas si je le fais en vidéo parce que ça va être extrêmement long, hein. J'ai 769 soldats, donc tous les faire un par un, ça va être long, ça va être casse-tête. Donc ce que je fais là, je vais envoyer la vidéo que j'ai fait là. Très très courte, hein, 15 minutes, je dirais 15-20 minutes. De toute façon je fais ça. Et puis je vous reprends juste après.